Arizona, you've done it again. For the second time in 2 weeks, Republicans in Arizona's state legislature have rejected an attempt to repeal a near-total abortion ban from 1864.
It's like people, Willie, are running into a burning house, and they're saying, hey, we got an exit. You can run out the back door and not be engulfed in flames. And come with us.
You can save all these women.
No, we're fine.
Nah.
We're fine. We're just going to keep them in the house.
Let them burn.
Let it burn down. We're totally cool. No, but you can go out the back door. The second time now that Democrats have tried to save Republicans from their own worst 1864 instincts. And what do, Willie? They go, nope, we're good. We want to stick with the 1864 law.
Yeah, I mean, even if you hold the reprehensible view that someone who is raped must deliver the baby because you said so, do it for the politics. How about that? Do it for cynical political reasons that most people in your state think this is appalling, and yet you're standing by it. In fact, only 2 Republicans joined all of the Democrats in the House chamber in Arizona on the vote to repeal the Civil War-era ban. House Republicans later voted to adjourn until next week. They did this last week as well, leaving a path for repeal of this bill unclear. Democrats in the state House blasted their Republican colleagues.
The message for today is clear. Arizona Republicans voted not once, but twice to uphold the draconian 1864 abortion ban that includes absolutely no exceptions for rape and no exceptions for incest. Our voices may not have been heard today, but let us be clear, we will be heard in November.
So, Jen, the Republicans in Arizona keep running back this playbook. They did it last week where they didn't want to take a vote on it. Yeah. So they're just going to dismiss themselves, adjourn for a week, and do what? I don't know, because they came back after a week this time and did the same thing all over again. Again, only 2 Republicans in the Arizona House voted to repeal a law that would force a woman who is raped or is a victim of incest to deliver the baby.
Yeah, and if Democrats were being political, they could have voted against it too, right? They could have said, "Hey, Republicans made this mess. Let them, let them deal with it," or said, "Let's just pass something on the state ballot initiative and not give them a lifeline." But I have, two takeaways from this. One is just how destructive Donald Trump's presidency has been, right? Just how destructive this has been for women. And when Republicans are in charge, they will take the most extreme position when it comes to, women's rights on the state level. And, Trump, he's trying to say that he said Arizona will overturn this. Well, they didn't, right? You leave it to the states. We've left it to the states. This is what's happened. He may be trying to moderate his position, but he's already done the most extreme thing because he took away the fundamental rights that women have.
And brags about it whenever he gets
brags
a chance.
about it. He said it was incredible. He said it was amazing. He said people were happy. One of the state representatives that was part of this debate yesterday, when a Republican talked about how it is, pregnancies don't have to be picture perfect. Meaning, suggesting that it's okay if pregnancies come about by rape or incest. They don't need to be picture perfect in order for a woman to need to have that child.
My God,
the hypocrisy of that. Of course, they say that generally, if it comes into their own home, if it happens to their own home, if their 10-year-old daughter were raped by an illegal immigrant, they'd be the first to say, "Okay, we're going to take care of that." They'd be the first. So the hypocrisy is just staggering. And, Charlie Sykes, Jen's right. Donald Trump has been just absolutely terrible and destructive for the rights of women, for the rights of rape victims, for the rights of incest victims. And you move it to politics, so destructive. And we've said this before because we're really kind people and we're trying to help Republicans. We're trying to help them find their way back to where they can actually win an election once in a while. They just won't listen. They just keep losing. And you live in a state where this is, again, I think it's one of the great examples. We talk about Kansas, we talk about Kentucky for good reason. But I keep going back to that Wisconsin Supreme Court election that should have been a slugfest. And instead it was a wipeout. Why? Because they were clinging to a 150-year-old abortion ban. And it cost them the Supreme Court in Wisconsin. They don't care.
Yeah. Well, it did, and you've seen this in one state after another. Look at the politics here are absolutely fascinating. You have Donald Trump, who last week thought he was going to neutralize this issue, kind of throws the pro-life movement under the bus, even though he's responsible for Roe versus Wade being overturned. Carrie Lake flip-flops on the issue, and as you point out, in Arizona they have a law on the books that probably has the support of less than 10% of the electorate. They have an easy way out, and they've chosen not to do it. And so you see this dynamic here, where at the very moment the Republicans are saying, "Hey, can we moderate our position on this? Can is there some sort of an off ramp?" The Arizona Republican Party is basically saying, "No, we're completely comfortable with this, even though it's probably going to cost them the control of the legislature, may cost them the U.S. Senate seat, and probably is going to tip Arizona over in the presidential election." But this is one of the, again, part of what makes this fascinating is kind of the trick box that Donald Trump has put Republicans in, where he says, okay, I am the pro-life president. We have overturned Roe versus Wade, but it's completely now up to the states' rights, except that look what the states are doing. So while he's trying to sound moderate, he owns every one of these extreme draconian laws, and Republicans are not backing off. But that was an amazing scene yesterday in Arizona.
Unbelievable.
I just don't understand why the women of Arizona are going to have to go through the process of showing politicians what these abortion bans will mean to their lives. I mean, you mentioned rape victims, incest victims, people with fetal abnormalities, and that's a lot of people. But women who just want regular health care, who might need a DNC, who might need an abortion-like procedure, won't get them. It's going to have an incredible impact on women and families across the state of Arizona if this ban stays in effect, as extreme as it is.
By the way, we're still waiting to see. I mean, we're so concerned because Clarence Thomas, of course, in overturning Roe v. Wade, wrote in a concurring opinion that we have to look at not only things like same-sex marriage, also have to look at the right to contraception. Right. And then you have IVF in Alabama, the Senate. In Washington, the U.S. Senate, Republicans are blocking an attempt to make IVF protected. So, again, this is impacting women's health care. And for women who consider themselves to be pro-life, who miscarry. Yeah, it's really terrible.
Hey, everyone. MSNBC has a new and improved app. You'll get real-time alerts and analysis, live blogs, in-depth essays, video highlights, and the best 2024 election coverage. Download the new MSNBC app. Here's how to do it. You tap on the App Store on your phone. You hit search on the bottom right corner. You type in MSNBC. You click on the MSNBC app. You click on Get or the cloud icon and enjoy it.